back to a Jamaican Alzheimer's story. Thank you so much for joining me again. And before I go into anything else for today, I'm going to remind you to like, share, and subscribe. If you like my content, continue to watch. And I hope that you continue to learn new things as we go along with every new episode. Now, as caregivers, family members, friends of persons who are suffering from Alzheimer's, you will find that you will have very many strange experiences, and these experiences can happen at any time out of the blue. Now, today, I'm going to share with you one of our strange experience, and that was the day when our mother ran away. Yes, you heard me. She ran away. Now, this happened maybe about 9 years ago, quite some time. I don't recall the year, but I remember it was a Sunday. And when we was home alone, we had gone to our separate activities for the day. I think my sister was out of town at a funeral. So, and I was away for maybe about an hour. I don't think I was away for that long. But when I returned, guess what? Mommy wasn't home. But I wasn't alarmed because it is the norm for her to go next door to visit her friend or to walk around to the shop, to have a chat with the shopkeeper, which she does sometimes. So I wasn't concerned. But then after about half an hour or so, I realized something was wrong. So I decided that, you know what, we need to go look for her. So my husband went in one direction, I went in another. I drove around because at this point I wasn't really that anxious. I would say I was concerned. So we drove around to all the places we expected her to be. Nowhere. She was nowhere to be found. So at this point now, we sought the help of a friend to drive around as well. So there were 3 persons looking for her. We drove around to the entire community. We drove along the bus route to where we know maybe if she was in a bus, we would have seen her at the bus stop or coming out of a bus or a taxi. And I want to think that we were driving around for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. And when I realized that we weren't finding her at all, my heart started beating at maybe 1,000 beats per minute. All the possible bad things that could happen just kept flooding my mind. I was imagining all the worst things, and I'm saying to myself, oh my God, this is not going to happen. I have to find her. This cannot be happening. I'm thinking about all the things I heard on the news. I'm thinking about all the other persons who I've heard of, all the bad things that have happened. And I wasn't able to contain my thoughts because I was wondering, oh my God, is my mother going to become a statistic? I can't believe this is happening to us. Anyway, we decided that we would meet back home, regroup, and decide whether to go to the police station or, maybe get other persons to help. So shortly after we arrived home, my friend called and she said, guess what? I just saw your mother coming out of a bus just as I was passing the bus stop. And would you believe that's the last bus stop we passed before getting home? So my mother sensed that she was causing some concern, or would have, because she didn't think that we were home. So she said to my friend, don't bother say anything to them, don't tell them that you saw me at the bus stop, but I am coming from church. So my friend said, really? But guess what? There is no bus from where we are living. There is no bus route that would take her to church. So we knew she wasn't coming from church. In her head, she was coming from church because guess what? She was dressed for church, hat, suit, stocking, bag. And according to her, she knows that my sister is going to a funeral. But she realized that my sister left something at home. So she went to the church to give it to her. No, my sister was hundreds of miles away, far, far from home. She didn't have a clue. I'm not sure where she went. To this day, I don't know. None of us know where she went. But I can tell you, it must have been God that took her right to the exact bus stop that my friend was passing. And guess what? We learned a very important lesson on that day. That day we learned that we can no longer leave her home alone. That day we learned that Alzheimer's is unpredictable. You don't know when they will transition from one stage to the next. Your parent, your loved one will be fine today, fine right now, and something changes in the brain and their actions puzzle you, alarm you. So now we had to immediately put plans in place to ensure that she is no longer left home alone. So this was now a new phase in our experience with mommy and Alzheimer's. This was now the time we realized that we had to be on our guard. We had to be concerned. Here's my message to you, persons who have their parents, grandparents with Alzheimer's. I know that based on the economic situation now, it can be difficult to even employ a caregiver. But have persons in the community who are concerned. Make sure that your neighbor has your number. Make sure that someone is always looking out for him or her. So once they observe any strange move, they can give you a call. Ensure that the persons in the outer community, the shopkeeper, everybody is on the lookout to help you. That is why the village is always important, because there are times when you cannot stay from wherever you are to ensure that they are well, but a neighbor can give you a call. So remember, seek help in your community, talk to a neighbor, ensure someone on the outside has your number. I know that having a parent with Alzheimer's is sometimes something we don't want to talk about, something we don't want to share with others. I can tell you from our experience, it is not something we wanted to talk about, because at first we were in denial. I want to say we were. But when you have a community looking out for you, you are better able to control situations and prevent them from escalating or getting out of hand. So I want to thank you again for joining me. Thank you for sharing my videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.